Hi everyone, my name is Susan and I'm here today to talk to you about how you can prepare for your meetings with your state legislators when asked to go advocate for FIRST Robotics at the state level. So first of all, for all my North Carolina teams out there, definitely make sure that your first stop is www.ncleg.gov. That's going to be where you can find information about all your state legislatures. If you are not sure who your representatives are currently, make sure to check out www.firstncac.org. At the bottom there of the page, there will be a Find My Legislature button, and you can simply plug in your address, which will lead you directly to the site, and you'll be able to find out exactly who your representatives are. Next, you're just going to want to do a simple Google search. Really, just plug their name in and start looking for websites, social media, voter records. You want to know as much as you can about this individual. Meetings with state legislatures are not hard at all, but like anything else, the more prepared you are going in, the more effective you're going to be in your ask and in your presentation so that they really understand the importance of FIRST and why it needs to be in as many schools as possible. So again, you want to look at their voting records and look at their social media, their campaign websites. Try and figure out the most important ideas in their platform. Once you've identified these issues, make sure to incorporate them into your presentations. You want to practice ahead of time, but make sure to tailor it so that it influences ideas that they're passionate about. Let's say it's education. That's an easy one. And you'll be able to say, FIRST Robotics supplements the education in public schools this, and this way, and here are the facts to prove it. Make sure to always have things to back up what you're saying so that we can always stay consistent within our first ask. Next, maybe they're talking about workforce, or they want to see bringing more companies into the area. Talk about your alumni and talk about what they've been able to do, again, backing it up with statistics. Always try and tailor your presentation around issues that they're passionate about because you want them to be as engaged as possible during the presentation. Make sure you're always practicing as well because practice makes perfect. And so identifying the issues that are important, knowing who your representatives are, and being as prepared as possible for these meetings will give you an effective opportunity to really engage with that representative and have a great meeting where you actually get things done and push issues and build relationships, which is most important. Next, we're going to have a video from Team 1816, Green Machine, and they're going to talk a little bit about how you can prepare for these meetings. They're going to be talking about it at the national level, but it's definitely applicable in the same exact way. Just make sure to use those websites I just mentioned, especially if you're in North Carolina, and if not, do some research on how you can learn about things in your area. Finally, if you have any questions or concerns, we are happy to help whenever possible. We are willing to provide resources, help you with planning out your ideas, or even research any questions at all. Just make sure to email contact@firstncac.org and we will respond to you as soon as possible.
You really have to know a lot of information about your elected officials. For returning members, look at their past voting records. Two good sources to use are www.ncleg.gov and www.firstncac.org. To find out who your representatives are and how they have voted, which committees they serve on, and what bills they have sponsored. Information like this helps you prepare for meetings with members, and it's important to have as much information as possible about their voting records. These help you to make personal connections and show you have done your research. Specifically, look for committee assignments and public positions on STEM and education. Second, be passionate about your issues, but be gracious and professional. Express your feelings, but remember you are continuously working to build a professional relationship. Your goal is to become a key resource for the representative on STEM and education issues that may be addressed in the future. This meeting is just one step in your advocacy relationship. Third, keep in mind, you are there to represent FIRST North Carolina and your team. What limited time you do have, you don't want to waste it contradicting each other. Now, the best way to make sure you don't fall in any of these traps is to meet together before you see the members. Practice conducting your meetings and determine who will take the lead on what issues and how to weave in your personal stories and local impact. Now, let's see how the meeting might look.
All right, we're meeting here today to decide on how our legislative meeting is going to proceed.
Right off, let's make sure everyone knows who we are and why we're here. We need to figure out who's going to say what so that we can make sure all of our points are made. Let's create an outline. We need to be sure to follow along in order so that we can stay on the same page with our issues and weave in our own personal stories.
Well, I'd like to begin with a broad discussion of the federal Every Student Succeeds Act and how it might impact our state, then move into more specifics pertaining to STEM initiatives under Title IV Part A. This will provide funding for a broad range of what's considered STEM. This includes after-school, mentor, and research-based STEM engagement activities like FIRST.
And I can talk about how an FRC team operates. Also, I can talk about how funding through Title IV Part A of ESA and Perkins will benefit students throughout the state.
Sounds good. I'll talk more about who can benefit from these types of programs, especially students in rural, disadvantaged, and underserved communities. I've brought in some good examples of team outreach, including bringing Legos to children and homeless shelters.
And if you look here, Representative Smith's voting record for actually approving STEM is not so good. So I'm sure that she doesn't understand how STEM is having a local impact in jobs. I'm sure those Lego examples would be a great example.
Great. Then I'll present Representative Smith with written information about FIRST programs, and we will invite her to our build space and our upcoming competitions. I can also make sure invitations go out to her to see different levels of FIRST competitions in our district.
Things are already looking better. It doesn't take long, but now everyone knows who is providing which information for the meeting. You know who's going to cover which topic and who's going to take the lead. It is also important to know your members' positions on key issues, as well as their committee assignments in the state legislature. When you keep these important steps in mind, your meeting with elected officials will be more effective as a group. We're strongest when we present a united front.